Hey, and hello. How we doing? Eric Strong. Um, so here's a funny thing is when you're covering games from competing companies, you'll sometimes run into a problem of too much information coming out and not enough time to make videos about it. So what we're faced with is reveal season for the most recent expansion just ended for Legends of Runeterra. The Path of Champions redo came out. Like everything about that is out and playable. It's ready to go. I played some Path of Champions yesterday, and let me say it is very fun. I thoroughly enjoyed myself playing that. But now that that's done, now we have a whole different problem. That other problem is that um, Hearthstone is now started their reveal season. And so they have a mini set that comes out between every normal set. And the set usually has about like 20 or 30 cards, something like that. It's really small. Um, but that said, this stuff started coming out already. So we're going to go over to their website, to playhearthstone.com, take a look at the card library, and see what has come out for it. It's been a couple days of reveals already, so a lot of things have shown up already. There's only a couple more days worth of reveals left as of this recording. So we're going to take a look at what we have and maybe make a follow-up of the cards that remain later. So here's what we have. Let's go ahead and make a little switch up. Boom, there we go. All right, so we are on playhearthstone.com right now. So let's go ahead and slide down, and we're just going to take a quick look and have a quick analysis of all of the new stuff that is shown up. So first up, we have Priest. Priest has 4 new cards here. You have Herald of Light. Is a 3-mana 3/4. All right, that's pretty good. So already premier stats before we even take a read at the card. It's common. It's a Naga. And it says, Battle Cry, if you've cast a holy spell while holding this, restores 6 health to all friendly characters. That's not bad. I mean, for a Naga Priest deck that wants to play a little bit defensively while they're setting up their combos, I think that's a pretty good thing to have, especially with all those high health taunt creatures that Priest loves to have around. I remember this is an effect that was on a card. I think it came out a couple years ago. I don't remember the name of the card, but I believe it was like a 2-mana spell that just healed your entire team and your face for 6. It was, and that one's played too. It was pretty decent. So yeah, so that effect on a 3/4 body for 3 mana, I see that's pretty damn good. I see that fitting very easily into a nice defensive shell or even the existing Naga Priest deck. Moving on, we have Disarming Elemental. That's interesting. Okay, so it's a water elemental, but it's for priest. So 4 mana, 4/4, Battlecry, Dredge. Dredge for your opponent and set its cost to 6. Whoa, oh, that's funny. So you're not dredging your own deck, you're dredging your opponent's deck, and you're finding whatever's down there, and you make it cost 6. So you dredge up to the top of your opponent's deck something stupid that's not going to help them on their next turn or next 2 turns, and you set his cost to 6. I like that. I like that a lot. That's a really cool card. I like any time you can just really mess up someone's day. Like just disruption is my friend. I love disruption. I wish we had like proper opponent discard effects or a proper counter spells in this game. But I know that's not what this game is about. This game is more casually minded, so it is what it is. Anyways, moving on. We have Drown. It is get it off my screen. It is a 4-mana spell. It's a shadow spell. Uh, Art is kind of spooky. It shows an orc literally drowning to death. That's grim. Put an enemy minion on the bottom of your deck. Okay, that's just straight up solid removal. Like you take like your opponent's heaviest hitter. Like you take like their colossal. You take a legendary minion that is integral to their game plan, and you don't just kill it. You pick it up off the table and you put it on the bottom of your deck, so that then you can dredge it to the top of your deck and actually use it against them. That's actually really cool. That will work very well with the dredge mechanic. Works very well as just a solid removal spell because it only costs 4 mana. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, let's see this next spell. Illuminate, 0 mana, dredge. If it's a spell, reduce its cost by 3. Dredge, if it's a spell, reduce. Yeah, that can knock something down to free. There's a lot of like cast this for 0 kind of effects with the current priest. So I'm kind of into this. Yeah, because like, you just dredge up like whatever random spell that you might happen to need at the moment, make it free. I can't complain about that. That's just solid gameplay. I like that. There's a lot of mana reduction in this set too, like more than usual. Okay, so that's the new stuff from Priest. Let's check out Paladin. Paladin has Light Ray. It's a 9 mana 5/5 taunt. Costs 1 less for each Paladin card you play this game. Okay, so it rewards you for playing the pure Paladin playstyle, which is like close to no neutral cards at all, just Paladin cards. And like I was just talking about with cost reduction, I mean that's another cost reduction effect. So like if let's see, if you are playing nothing but Paladin cards, turn one, that gets reduced to, let's say you play something on curve every turn, one new card every turn on curve. Turn one that gets reduced to 8. Turn two that gets reduced to 7. Turn three it's 6 mana. Turn four it is 5 mana. So that you played a card on each of these 4 turns, it gets reduced to 5 mana. On the fifth turn, you can play that as a 5 cost 5/5 taunt. That's okay. That is okay. Like that reduces it to a point where it is an on curve 5/5 taunt. But also, if you happen to draw this later on in the game, this can be reduced to 2, 1, even 0 by the time you're done casting out all your spells. Like you'll look at Holy Mackie roll over here. If you just cast this a bunch of times in one turn, this is gonna end up being free. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. I don't think it's broken. I mean, it's good. It's a 5/5 taunt, but the real question is, what are you going to cut for it? I mean, that's a solid question there. So we'll see. It might be good, might be not. We'll find out. Next up is Myrmidon. It's a 3 mana 3/4, so premium stats again, just like the Priest Naga. After you cast a spell on this minion, draw a card. All right, so it promotes buff gameplay, not hand buff gameplay, but in on the board buff gameplay. So yeah, can't be too sussed by that one. That's just a solid card. Not too strong, not too weak, just solid. I like it. All right, moving on. We are at Rogue. Rogue is showing us Inkveil Ambusher. It is a 1/2 for 2 mana. It's a Naga. Has stealth and has +3 attack and immune while attacking. Hmm, that's good. That's real good. I mean, that just gives you carte blanche to just knock out anything that has 4 or less health. That is if you don't modify it even further. Yeah. And it has stealth, it's going to be protected for that first turn while it still has summoning sickness. Yeah. I mean, the only way you can really counteract this is having a 2 or more damage AoE spell effect. Yeah. That's just solid. That's a really good card. I like that. Next, we have Jackpot. A very interesting art of Captain Hooktusk there. It's a 2 mana spell. Add 2 random spells from other classes that cost 5 or more to your hand. Hmm. Okay, so we know that Burgle Rogue is already kind of a thing. This is just more support for it. I like it, but I like it specifically because it adds cards that cost 5 or more to your hand, not just like any random like small spell. Like you're not going to get like Totemic Might or some nonsense like that. Something that's not going to be useful to you. The higher up in mana cost you go, the more likely you're going to get good game swinging cards. So yeah, I like that. Would I'm honestly surprised that it's gonna stay at 5 mana cost. Like they don't like say like reduce the cost. Like it is a 5 mana plus spell, but like it costs like 2 less or whatever. I mean that seems to be like the ongoing tradition of modern Hearthstone. I'm honestly kind of glad they didn't do that because it does really feel really bad when your opponent just pops off with a bunch of spells and minions that they're paying like close to nothing for. So yeah, I think that's a good, well balanced card. I like it. Next up, we have the Shatter Shambler. It is a 1/1/3 elemental battle cry. Your next death rattle minion costs one less, but immediately dies when played. Oh my. I don't usually consider Wild when I'm looking at new cards because I don't play Wild. I hardly ever even think about it. But Rogue has a long-standing tradition of just being like one of the Death Rattle classes, like right alongside Hunter. Like their Death Rattle effects are usually top-notch. And for this to be only one mana to set up your next Death Rattle to go off immediately, that's really good. That's probably the strongest card we've seen today. That's really, really strong. Yeah, that's going to be a terror in Wild. I'm sure of it. All right, moving on. Moving on. Well, let's take a look at Druid. Okay, Mr. Druid, what do we have? We have Spirit of the Tides. It's one of those cute little Pandaren spirits. I like those guys a lot. They're really fun. It's a 2 mana 2/2 elemental. If you have any unspent mana at the end of your turn, gain +1/+2. Ongoing. Okay. All right, so if you play this on, like, say, turn 3 or turn 2 with a coin or an innervate or something like that, but not sure why you'd want to waste mana like that, you'll end the turn as a 3/5. Okay, not bad. Or if you just play it on curve and it survives the turn, it becomes 3/5 on your next turn, and it becomes a 4/7. Yeah, it just keeps on getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah, that's not bad. But the thing is, like, you're kind of limiting yourself by not using all your mana every turn, and if you're playing good Hearthstone, you're spending every last drop of mana every single turn. So I'm not sure we're going to be seeing this all that much. It has good snowball potential, but again, I'm not too sure about that one. Next, we have Moonbeam. It's a 1 mana arcane spell. Deal 1 damage to an enemy twice. Okay, that's pretty good with spell damage amplifiers. Not a whole lot of spell damage amplifiers in Druid, but your neutrals can shore that up for you. But one thing to take into consideration is it deals 1 damage to an enemy twice, the same enemy twice. Now, when they say enemy, does that mean enemy minions or enemy face? Because if this can go face with enough spell power backing, you can just go boom, boom, just really knock someone out from a large health pool. And the fact that it only costs one, that the casting cost right there, that's really strong. But also, it can just be used as like a regular everyday removal spell. Yeah, I think that one's going to see use in spell damage combo decks. Yeah. I believe old school Malagos is still in Wild, so that could be a thing. I'm sure that's what everyone else is thinking too. Like, just crank that bad boy all the way up and just blast someone in the face. Okay, moving on. All right, Shaman. Shaman, what do we have for Shaman? We have Command of Neptulon. It's a 5 mana nature spell. Summon 2/5/4 elementals with Rush. Overload 1. Okay, Overload 1, 5/4 elementals with Rush for 5 mana. That's not bad. Yeah, it reminds me of the core card of the Frost Wolves, the 2/2/3s with taunt with the overload. And this only overloads 1, so that's honestly not bad. You cast it on curve at turn 5. You get 2/5/4 elementals that can work to knock out enemy board, and you're only knocked back by 1 mana the next turn. Like, so, like, sure, you're not going to be casting another 6 drop, but you can cast more of your 5 drops. So yeah, I like it. I don't know if it's going to see a whole lot of play, but honestly, like, that's good value for the amount of mana that you're spending. You're getting 10/8 worth of stats on the board, and you're only overloading by 1. That's pretty decent. Okay, Clownfish, 3 mana 3/2 Murloc. Okay, so we got more Murlocs. That's good. Battle Cry. Your next 2 Murlocs cost 2 less. That's the kind of card that we want to see spell reduction on. Again, this is probably going to be a little bit better for Wild, because at 3 mana, 3/2, you got a total mana reduction of 4 across 2 different Murlocs. So you can just spit out Murlocs out of your hand with this. And you can drop like the charge Murloc or the Tide Runner to get an additional Murloc, or like just or hell, even just make your Murloc War Leader cost one. Like there aren't a whole lot of like really decent Murlocs in current standard, but Wild does still have all of the Murlocs, so yeah, that could be decent for Wild. Um, kind of mediocre for standard. Next up is the Tide Lost Burrower. It's 4 mana 4/4 Murloc and Battlecry Dredge. If it's a Murloc, summon a 2/2 copy of it. Okay, cool. So you look at the bottom, choose a Murloc out of the three, and then one of them goes to the top of your library, and then you summon a 2/2 copy of it. So you don't really want to choose one that is that has a Battlecry effect. You probably want one that has like an ongoing effect on the board. So this would be good to pair with Murloc War Leader, because that's an ongoing effect. That's not a battle cry. So like you just use that, dredge up the War Leader, and it buffs your entire team. Plus you get the actual War Leader on the following turn. So that has solid snowball potential. I like that a lot. Yeah, that's a good card. Okay, moving on. So that's all out of Shaman. Warlock. Okay. So I did happen to see these earlier. So this is not a first time review of but we'll go over these anyways. First up, we have the Commander Ultok. He's a 5 mana 7/7. He's one of our faceless ones. I like that Warlock is the ones that deal with the faceless ones the most. It's very thematic to their cause. Battle Cry. Your opponent's cards cost health instead of mana next turn. So I've been seeing a lot of people poo-pooing this card. I'm thinking the exact opposite. I think this is going to be a role player in the Abyssal Curse deck. Because if there's one thing that the Abyssal Curse deck does is it applies consistent pressure through the curses. Because like you're just taking damage turn after turn after turn with the curses while holding off your opponent's board with removal spells and healing. Commander Ulthok, it looks like a downside. Like, because obviously, like, its mana cost is only 5, and you're getting a 7/7. That's overstated for the cost, clearly. But the battle cry is a benefit to your opponent in most cases, except in the case where they're taking consistent pressure throughout the course of the entire game. You're going to want to play this on a key turn to make sure your opponent doesn't cast anything on their next turn. You're going to use this a lot in the same way that you would have used, what was that card from? It was a card from way back in the day. It came out of the next Rammus set. It was a card that basically made your opponent's spells cost 5 more the next turn. You're going to use this much in the same way that you used that card back in the day, just to disrupt your opponent's game plan long enough for you to just clear the game out. Because if you're applying constant pressure all game long with your curses, with your damage spells, with your minions on board, I mean, that's just going to be a lockout card later in the game because your opponent is not going to want to take more damage than they have to. I'm seriously considering actually playing Curse Warlock with that card. I mean, that looks like a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm actually up on that card. I think he is really good. Okay, moving on. Herald of Shadows is a 3 mana 4/2. It's a Naga. Very cool art on that one too. Battle Cry. If you've cast a shadow spell while holding this, steal 2 health from a minion. Okay, so this will work as a way to basically come down as a 4/4 for 3. Very good stats, while also killing a 2-drop. However, your opponent does need to have a minion on the board for you to steal from, so that is also a condition. Yeah, honestly, I would rather be using my 3 drop for either Drag Below or for Siricast Cultist. Because if we're going for the game plan of Commander Ultok to go with consistent pressure, you want to be dropping Abyssal Curses every single turn. Like, every turn you want to be applying pressure to your opponent. So I don't think I would play with Herald of Shadows unless I have like a free spot for like one of them. So yeah, it's decent. I don't think it's for the same deck though. Next up we have Immolate. Immolate is another card that kind of fits into the constant pressure game plan. Immolate, light every card in the opponent's hand on fire. In 3 turns, any still in hand are destroyed. Now, this is, I think, the closest we're ever going to see to like actual opponent discard in this game. Because like it gives your opponent 3 turns to play out whatever is in their hand. So if you coin this out on 3, on turn 4 you play like the just anything else, just anything else, like another card to like apply pressure, apply abyssal curses, clear the board. Turn 5 you drop Commander Ultok. Turn 6, that's when they're going to need to play out the rest of their hand without letting those cards just die. But Commander Ulthok's Battlecry effect is going to make it so you're going to hurt if you try to cast those spells. This really rewards forward thinking, like planning out your turns 1, 2, 3. This plays together. This plays together so well, and I really like where they're going with this. Do I think this is going to turn into like a tier 1 deck? Absolutely not. But it's going to be a tier fun deck, I tell you that. Yeah, I think I might be shifting over to a Curse Warlock deck after this mini set goes live. I really want to play with these cards. It looks like fun because I just love disrupting game plans in card games. I really enjoy it. Yeah, the Immolate and Commander Ultok, this has me very interested. Immolate might be too slow, but in when the freaking stars align and this just goes off, like, that's good stuff. That's real good stuff. Okay, moving on. Warrior, probably the class I have the absolute least playtime on, but we'll talk about them. We have Clash of the Colossals. Add a random colossal minion to both players' hands. Yours costs 2 less. Okay, both players get a colossal. Yours comes out a little bit sooner. Theirs comes out later. Um, I don't think this is good. I don't, because it's symmetrical. Because it gives your opponent a colossal to fight through. Like unless you can like end the game on like that next couple turns earlier than your opponent. Like if you both get like an 8-drop colossal and yours comes down on turn 6, I certainly hope you're killing the opponent on that turn. Because if your opponent gets to turn 8 and gets the opportunity to punch back, I mean, it's just kind of an okay card at best. I'm not a fan. Someone prove me wrong. I mean, I would love to be proven wrong on that, but again, I'm not too sussed on that one. Next up, we have Tidal Revenant. Is a battle cry, deal 5 damage, gain 8 armor. 5/8 for 8. Okay. Um, First off, I don't like that it doesn't have taunt. If you're dropping an 8-drop with such low stats, I do like that you're gaining 8 armor off of it, so you get a little bit of healing, but this unit really should have taunt. There's so many other like 7 and 8-drop cards that come with taunt attached to it that I don't think this really wins out unless you're playing an aggressive deck that needs just a little bit of reach at the end of the game plan to just punch your opponent in the face, because that damage can go face if you need it to. So it could be a curve topper, but honestly, like in an aggressive deck, I think you want your curve topper to be between 5 and 6. So I'm not sure what deck this wants to go in, but again, I hope you guys can prove me wrong. Next up, Igneous Lava Gorger is a 4-mana 3/5 elemental. Taunt. Let's just take that taunt off of there and put it on the other guy. That'd be better. Battlecry Dredge, gain armor equal to his cost. Okay. Okay. Now that is a good card. I mean, you just dredge up a colossal from the bottom of your deck. Like, yeah, let's say you don't play this on curve. You actually play um, the 5-mana guy that puts 3 colossals on the bottom of your deck. Then the next turn, you dredge up the highest cost colossal, comes to the top of your deck. You get all the armor, and we're sitting pretty for next couple turns. Yeah, pretty decent. Pretty decent. I like that card a lot. Okay, and now we're in the neutrals. In the neutrals, we have about 5 new cards. So first up, we have 2 new colossals in neutral. So anybody can play these. That's really interesting. So first up, we have Ozumat. He is a beast. He is 6/5 for 8 mana. He is Colossal 6. That means he's going to fill the entire board when he comes in. Death Rattle. For each of Ozumat's tentacles, destroy a random enemy minion. Okay. So we were looking at the rogue earlier, and the rogue had a 1 mana card that caused a death rattle to trigger immediately upon playing. That can go with this. If you are behind and you need to clear the board, that could be a thing. It's not a good thing. But if you're in a pinch, like that is something that you can do. But bear in mind that the Osmath just dies. All the other ones don't die. Let's take a look at the tentacles themselves. Let's see. Osmath's tentacle. Okay, so each of the tentacles are a 1/3. Okay, so you're getting a lot of stats off of this, but the tentacles only attack for 1. Just for each of Ozumat's tentacles, destroy a random enemy minion. Okay, never mind. So it's not the tentacles themselves attacking; it's just the tentacles just destroying things. Okay, that's cool. So yeah, you play this. You kill Ozumat immediately. All the tentacles destroy 6 units on the other side of the board. Boom. Yeah, that's a decent board clear. It's an expensive ass board clear though. But yeah, on its own, pretty decent though. Like it's just a butt ton of stats. Just hopefully your guy doesn't get silenced or otherwise removed in a way that the death rattle does not trigger. Next we have Neptulon, the Tide Hunter. He's a 10 mana 7/7 elemental. Colossal +2 Rush and Wind Fury. Okay, +2 Rush and Wind Fury. So this guy can actually attack the turn he drops, unlike Ozumat. Whenever Neptulon attacks, if you control any hands, they attack instead. So I'm assuming those are the yes, Neptulon's hands. Those are the 2 appendages of this colossal. Is immune while attacking, 4 mana 4/2, 4 mana 4/2. Okay, so yeah, whenever Neptulon attacks, if you control any hands, they attack instead. So you swing with him, and instead, both of the hands attack that unit instead for a total of 8 instead of the 7 value that's on the card itself. Very interesting. But this will only go off if you control the hands. So you attack with this, the turn it comes in. You beat up one guy, and then you beat up another guy. So that's 2 free removals right there. That's pretty awesome. And then like on your opponent's turn, they'll likely remove the hands. Um, so the next turn, you still have Wind Fury, but you also have a 7/7 that they can just go for 14 damage to the face. But that will be under ideal conditions, I'm sure. But yeah, honestly, I like Neptulon a lot more than Ozumat. Neptulon is pretty cool. I would love to see him come off of the Queen of Jara's conch. That would be really really nice to see pop off of there. So that's just a straight up buff to Queen of Jara. So I'll keep playing her. Next we have Coil Fang Constrictor. It's a 4 mana 5/4 battle cry. Look at 3 cards in your opponent's hand. Choose one. It can't be played next turn. Okay, so it's a little more hand disruption. I think it's a little too low impact, but the stats are arguably very good. It's a 5/4 beast for 4. So you play this in Beast Hunter, give your opponent a hard time on turn 4. Yeah, just keep on beating in, make 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 their key card unplayable for the next turn. Yeah, not bad. That's not bad at all. Too bad it only looks at 3 cards in the hand, though, not the entire hand. All right, moving on. Snapdragon. It's a 3/3 for 3. It's a beast. So okay stats. Battlecry. Give all Battlecry minions in your deck +1/+1. That's not bad. That's not bad at all, honestly. But it only gives you Battlecry units, so you're gonna have to keep that in mind when crafting your deck. So that would be very good for Shaman. Shaman's well known for having a lot of Battlecry effects, so that could be good for Shaman. Could be decent for Hunter as well if there are enough Battlecry units to use that with. Because that is, if you build your deck correctly, that can be a Prince Keleseth effect on turn 3. Yeah, that's not bad at all. And In this game, stats are very important. Next up, we have the Bubbler. Bubbler is a 1 mana 2/4 elemental. After this minion takes exactly 1 damage, destroy it. And it says, so this would not be good against Demon Hunter. This would not be good against Mage, because both of those have a spell power effect, or hero power effect, of dealing 1 damage on demand. Also, Paladin makes 1/1s with its hero power as well. So this card is not very good. Druid can handle this as well with their hero power. Yeah. And Rogue. Yeah, Rogue. Yeah, this card's just bad. Yeah, literally almost any class can deal with this. This will, however, be good against Warlock. Pretty good there. Pretty good against Hunter. But against the classes that can just deal with it immediately, not that hot. Yeah. So yeah, that's that. Um, Anything else? I don't think so. Oh, Hunter. That's right. Hunter has not received anything yet, so we're likely going to see Hunter getting some new stuff. And Demon Hunter hasn't received anything yet. Neither has Mage. I'm interested to see what Mage gets, because Mage is my favorite class. All right, cool. Yeah, so that's gonna be it for today. Um, as far as the cards I'm most excited for, um, Neptulon, it looks pretty tasty. I like him a lot. I like Snapdragon a lot. Let's see. Um, if I were a warrior player, I'd be more interested in Igneous Lava Gorger. The other two cards I'm not too sussed on. Warlock has me probably the most interested, because I really want to play these cards right here. Commander Ulthagan Immolate. I can see that being really, really spicy. Yeah, that could lead to some fun interactions. So I'm probably going to play a little bit of Warlock when the set goes live. Next, Shaman, probably Tideloss Burrower is the most interesting, just because of its ability to bring up a key Murloc. Aside from that, Command of Neptulon is also good, but again, I don't play Shaman enough to know just how good that is. I think Shaman might have better things going on in the 5 spot. Druid. Druid I'm not too interested in. Moonbeam's cute, but it's going to need some build around to make it good. Rogue. The clear winner in Rogue is Shatter Shambler. I mean, that's just a fantastic card. That card is going to be very good for Wild. Paladin. Myrmidon. Light Ray. I'm not too interested in either of these cards. Light Ray sounds like it's going to be fun. Myrmidon is just a fair card. Let's see. Priest. Priest I'm pretty interested in too. I really like Drown. Drown is a very interesting card. I like that a lot. Herald of Light is a good stalling card too. Illuminate, it's just another dredge card. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of fun disruption here. Disarming Elemental and Drown. I like that a lot. Oh, and that looks like it. So yeah, I think that's going to be my my assessment for this new mini set. We still have a couple classes that haven't been revealed for their new stuff, and that's probably going to come out tomorrow or the next day. Yeah, yeah. The probably Warlock is what I'm most interested in checking out after the rotation. I wasn't too hype on the Abyssal Curses when they first came out, but they did recently receive a buff to a few of their cards, mana reductions. But that plus the new cards they're getting from the mini set, it's looking pretty spicy. Looking pretty spicy. So yeah, that's what we're gonna. I think that's what we're gonna be looking at in a couple of days. So yeah. All right. Well, if you have any questions, comments, anything like that from me, the comment section is gonna be wide open. So just talk to me there. Anyways, until next time, I'll catch you later. Bye.